All right, cameras are rolling. Francesca, say your full name and spell your full name.
My name is Francesca Gonzalez Roel, Francesca Gonzalez-Roel.
Okay, and Mike, you're on.
Great. How did you end up at JustWorks?
I ended up at JustWorks in a very interesting way. I had just finished up an internship in New York, and I didn't like it, and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And at the time, Oscar Health Insurance was advertising everywhere. They were like the first big startup to have advertising in the subway, and they were actually marketing all over the country at the time. And I was talking to my mom on the phone, and she had mentioned it, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Maybe I will work for a startup. I had like never even heard of the term startup. I didn't even know what a startup was. And so somehow I found Closer IQ, which we still use as a recruiting tool now. And from there, I saw a lot of different startups hiring. And so one of them was JustWorks. And so as I was doing my research, I found Isaac's profile on LinkedIn, looked at his profile, and then the next day I had a message from him, but it was actually his admin at the time messaging me because I had a similar title to what the role that they were looking for. And so he messaged me, and I went in the next week and interviewed and sort of bypassed the whole recruiting process. And here I am 3.5 years later. Yeah.
Tell us about the path that led you to this role.
So the current role that I'm in is I'm a sales manager, and I think I always wanted to be a manager in some capacity or just lead people in some capacity, but I was always too afraid to do it, or didn't think I was ready, or didn't think I could handle it. But I think, ever since I started at JustWorks, I've had really great mentors that have sort of encouraged me and led. Can we start over? I don't like this answer.
Start over.
What was the path?
I'll repeat it.
Okay.
Tell us about the path that led you to your current role as a manager.
So I am currently a sales manager now, kind of a winding road. Started as an account executive, had never done sales before, but had always thought I might be good at it. And then did the first sort of leadership development course at JustWorks, I guess 2 years ago now. And sort of felt like, okay, like I have the capacity to lead people and mentor people and manage people. And then kind of felt like I needed to get a few more years of sales under my belt. So did an expansion region in Washington, D.C., was a team lead for a little while, and then the opportunity came up to interview for a manager role, and here we are.
What is your most memorable moment at JustWorks?
My most memorable moment at JustWorks. There's a lot. I guess one of the most memorable moments is one of our first retreats. We were still about like 30 people at the time. Rob Lopez, our VP of sales, was planning it, and we stayed at this really old, weird house in upstate New York, and it was very like Shining-esque. It was like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it out of here alive. And there was no food to eat anywhere around, and except this one weird barbecue place, and everyone was starving. So it was me, Rob, and I think Val was with us, and we walked next door to this barbecue place, and we were like, hey, we need to feed 30 people. Can you help us out? And the husband and wife who owned the barbecue place looked at each other in complete shock, and they were like, oh my gosh, I don't think we've ever had that many people at a time in this restaurant ever. And so they were giving us just trays of food, whatever they had left. We paid for it and brought it back, and we all ate. The barbecue. It was surprisingly really good. But I think it was just a very amazing moment, and a great time when we were a super small company.
What can you do today that you couldn't do a year ago?
I think a year ago I was a lot more immature. So something that I can do today that I couldn't do a year ago was, one, not compare myself to others, and two, I know when to say that I've had enough, and I need to go home, I need to rest, I need to take a day off. And so I think managing my life better is something that I definitely couldn't do a year ago.
How has JustWorks helped you work through challenges or adversity?
Ooh, that's tough. I think JustWorks has helped me work through challenges because they don't look at, I guess our organization doesn't look at challenges like something negative. It's like, we're supposed to be challenged here. You're supposed to think this job is hard. You're supposed to feel like sometimes it feels kind of impossible, but with the correct support around you, you can always get through everything and get through any obstacles. So I think just the amount of support that you receive, like as a human being here, has helped me overcome obstacles in my personal life as well as in my professional.
What advice would you give to those early on in their JustWorks career?
I think advice that I would give anyone in their career in general, and here at JustWorks, is like, work your ass off, like work hard, put your head down. You do have the ability to make a difference here. There's so many processes that could be better. There's so many processes that people haven't even thought of yet that could grow this company. And we've been at this for a while, but we have so much longer to go. So every single new hire we have is important. And if you put your head down and do your job and collaborate, like you have just unlimited potential.
Last question. What would your autobiography be called?
Oh my God, that's so hard. What would my autobiography be called? Shit.
That's not a good title.
I'm sure I've thought about this before. I don't want to say something super corny.
You don't have to say whatever you want.
Life is a journey, not a destination. I don't know if that's an autobiography title, but it's kind of a life motto.
It's your book. Any questions that you want to redo?
No.
Any questions you think we should?
Yeah.
No, I think it was very natural and very relaxed. I think that's the way you want to come across.
Yeah.
You did good.
Cool.
Okay.
That's it.
Cool. Love